Many groups fought for voting. Now it is being rejected as worthless and not worth the time. It is time-consuming to learn about the people, but we also must live with the choices, as long as these people are in office. If we want to be a part of these choices, people should definitely vote. The lack of voting has caused a vicious cycle with our government. People weren't happy with how the government was turning out, so they stopped voting. As a result, less people are voting. Now it's between 10 and 20% of people that actually vote, that are able to vote. We are considered the worst industrialized democracy for voting. And if we continue this cycle, the government will continue to fail and will again be rejected by the people, so people will not be willing to vote again. This according to gov360.org. Secondly, voting is a right. Many people have fought for this right for us. The constitutional signers fought for this right for us first and wouldn't want us to be wasting it away just because we're not happy with how one of the elections turned out or who got voted into office. The slaves fought for their right to vote because they wanted a say in what was going to happen to them. The suffragettes and teens also have been groups that have fought for their right to vote, according to FoxNews.com, because they wanted the chance to be able to change what they saw. They wanted the chance to be able to say, I don't like how this is going, now listen to what I have to say. And they all won. And they continue to vote, people continue to vote to ensure freedoms. And if we continue to not vote and our voting numbers continue to go down, we won't be able to ensure the freedoms that we so rely on at this time in America and have always relied on in America. The land of the free and the home of the brave. But with freedom also comes responsibility, and we can't be responsible for what's going on with our country if we're choosing not to vote and we're choosing to just let it go as it will and let the people who really care vote rather than everybody voting. We also need to vote because we do make an impact. Some people would think, oh, I'm just one measly little vote, or my vote really doesn't count. But in the grand scheme of things, every vote counts. One vote can be history changing. If one person would have voted differently, Andrew Johnson would have been removed from office. Anybody like Texas? Because if one person would have voted differently, it would have been a split Congress, and Texas would not have been asked to join the Union. It does take some work to learn about the candidates and to choose leaders and such, but it really is worth it in the end because we have to live with these choices whether we make them or not. So if we want to say in how our government's going to be run and how we're going to be held responsible for everything that we do and how everything is going to change for the next voting period, then we need to put a say in. And I think that if people don't put a say in, they have no right to say that they don't like how something turned out. There's nothing more aggravating than when somebody says they don't like how the elections went. And you ask them, well, how did you vote? And they say, I didn't vote. So everybody, especially if you have an opinion and you have something that you want to see done, everybody should vote. And the statistics from this section came from knoxclerk.org. Voting may seem like a lot of work, and you may feel like your vote doesn't count. But it's a right and a privilege of ours to vote. If we don't vote, the government won't change the way we want it to, for sure. So, will you be a bystander, or will you vote and watch the changes you want to happen?